Hello, I'm Ryan, and I'm going to be teaching you the basics of LEGO Mindstorms today. That is the type of software they use in FLL and is image-based. So to start out, you go to the LEGO Mindstorms logo. I have the home version, not the paid educational version, but anyone can download LEGO Mindstorms for free. So as it pops up, you can see it's powered by LabVIEW, which is a image-based software system commonly used in science labs. Now, this is the screen it comes up to when you open the home version. So you want to go to this little plus sign and add project up here and not select any of the stuff down here. So this is where it takes you. To document your work does all this and can add extra help. Up here you name each program, and I'm going to name this tutorial program. And you can name the whole project, which is the file that it will show up in EV3. But to do that, you have to go to File, and when you want to save, you want to use Save As, say Project As, and it will let you change the file name. And I'll save this as Tutorial. So now you got this little play button, and this play button tells you when you're going to start the program. But that's important if you're using this button over here, which is the play to EV3 and connect it to EV3. And I don't have an EV3 here with me, or I will show you how that works. Now this motor on the green tab, like all green tabs, it controls something. It's a motor controller block. This one controls a tiny motor, which is to port A. And it can be changed, so it's just off, on for seconds, or on for degrees. With these tiny motors, we like to do them on for seconds, because if they don't get certain degrees of rotation, then they won't do what they're supposed to. This one controls a larger motor. These are traditionally used for wheels, and they can be controlled the same way, except we try to do rotations for these because you want them to go a certain way. And if you're controlling one, like this one is put to port D, it's just going to turn the robot or move one of the motors at a time. It's a rare occasion that you'll actually use those. Now these next two, it's really up to personal preference what you use them for. These two blocks are your drive blocks. They move B and C, which are your usual motor ports, and you can turn them on. You can turn them on for seconds. You can turn them off, and you can turn them on for rotations, and you can turn these off, and you can turn them on and on for degrees. When you turn them off, it just turns it off, like if you're, and then on for seconds turns it on for a certain time, and you change the power to these. And if you want to go backwards, you go a negative power. On this one is called the tank drive block. It controls both motors at the same time. You change different powers for speed or whatever. But this one is called the drive block. And what's different is you can make it so it supposedly turns so much, and it goes at a certain power, backwards or forwards, and it's on for rotations, on for degrees, or whatever. And it's really up to preference. A lot of people who started with NXTs use the tank drive, because that was the only option they had back in the old Mindstorms. But this drive block, newer people to the Mindstorms world use it a lot. So I'm not that familiar with it since I'm almost an old timer. But, yep. This block right here doesn't really do much. It's more if you are using an EV3 for graphics, which we won't be. These blocks are for your visual sound effects. And any FLL coach is probably cringing that I already mentioned these so early in the game. But these, they make the lights on the little control knob of the EV3 change colors, and they make the EV3 play sound. At a camp I went to, someone programmed the whole song All-Star. And that's pretty much all you need to know about the green tab. Now, the yellow tab. you can add another start button, which you probably don't need to do, but you can also add a timer. So if you want to do, say, a move tank on for this many powers, turn it on for 1 second. You can turn it on until a color sensor sees color, reflected light intensity, and more. Infrared sensor, touch sensor, timer, anything. Really. You can, this one right here is a cool one. It's called a loop. And you put your code inside the loop, and you can make the loop go on forever. You can make the loop go on until certain brick buttons happen, like if you want something to happen when you press a brick. That's how you do it. You can use a color sensor, infrared sensor, motion sensor, anything, even logic, or have it count so it's on for a certain amount of time. This option is called your this option right here is your switch, or your other, and you often see it inside a loop, but we're not going to show you with the loop. It's like your if or else. Like if you were saying, if the robot does not see a line, you would do whatever is in this section of code, like wait forever or what. But if it doesn't, it could keep going. It's like if then, if else. And you can do it with touch sensor, brick buttons, logic, anything. Again, like the loop. Sometimes you'll see switches in loops, and for a certain amount of time, it'll make decisions. But the switch makes the robot able to make decisions. This is a loop interrupt. It will interrupt the loop and stop whenever it sees something. These all show your sensors if you want it to do something with brick buttons, light sensor, your ultrasonic sensor, all the ones I previously mentioned before, or when your motors turn so much, at a 90-degree turn, you can make your code do something with this block right here. These blocks are a little more complicated. If you were to add a variable, which I've never really seen anyone do in Mindstorms or array operations, or, well, logic operations are a little different. These are and, or, and you can put them in a loop, I guess, like you would in a Java code. And this will make the do math, and so these are more complicated for your really good FLL teams, or not even using FLL. And file access messaging, Bluetooth connection, keep awake, raw sensor value, these are rarely used. Invert motor, stop program, comment. But these advanced ones, this is where it gets cool. You can create things called my blocks, which if I can remember how to. So say you got this code right here, here, and here that you'll want to call in your program many times, like in a loop or something else. What you would do is you would push Control and select all of these. Now you right click, or not, you save project, give me a minute. So what you would do to create a my block is you would go up to File and or Tools, and it says My Block Builder. So you go to My Block and you see all those blocks selected. Click or add parameters. You can add a parameter and change it for a certain thing, and you can change the icon and you make a description of what it is. This is like if you were to make a function. Say move is the description of this one. You could also name it move and push finish, and now all of a sudden all that code is just one block, and it saves a lot of space, and you can call it many times throughout your program because it's now one of your saved blocks. You can also do this handy dandy thing called commenting. And you can write comments in your code over certain blocks and tell it what to do. Say this motor, and you put a comment on top of it. And you say, this motor drives it forward. And comments are simple and they make the code easy to understand and for other people to read. You can also make it so that code comment tells you what it should be doing. Always comment so what it should be doing instead of what it is doing, so you can fix your mistakes. And always, always, always save your programs right here. This button and File, Save Project, Save Program, always things. You can also add new. And remember to add programs, add pockets. And that is how you use the basics of LEGO Mindstorms. More videos to come for FLL tutorials. Thank you, and have a nice day.